A pleasure to be here, obviously talking about AI, Gen AI, because this is probably for us in Europe, in Germany, the biggest unlock of potential. To frame it very shortly, what we mean with potential, I want to talk about the 4 ugliest hours. Let me demystify what I mean with that. It really is about the untapped potential for us here in Germany, in Europe, to use Gen AI and AI for our skilled workforce challenge we have, and to really unlock a new level of competitiveness in Europe. What are the 4 ugliest hours? It's a narrative we have built, which is composed of 2 elements. First, the question is, what can Gen AI do for us? And we all start with AI, and the last 60 months were amazingly to experience the creative chaos when it comes to Gen AI. But we now work with over 260 corporates, and we now, after first experiments, see where Gen AI can unlock real value. And we have very strong confidence about a 4-hour per week potential which Gen AI can address, not in 10 years from now, but right now. It happened to be not just random 4 hours, it happened to be the ugliest part of the work week. We are talking about tasks which Gen AI can replace, which we do not enjoy as a workforce. So this is what we mean with the 4 ugliest hours of the week. But let me give you some more detail to that. So if you look at the workforce in our average week, we have 40 hours a week we work. We now observed more than 20 industries, worked with, as mentioned, more than 260 corporates, and laid out over 3,000 activities where Gen AI today has a right to play. There are tools out there of standard tools to be deployed, or there is obviously custom builds you can think of with Gen AI. There is an emerging dynamic on no-code, low-code, self-service platforms. So Gen AI at the moment is really kind of reaching the status from being an experiment to really unlocking productivity. If you kind of put this on scale and you see what corporates put out a plan, the plans are super ambitious. And there's obviously a long-term vision out there, which isn't even difficult to quantify. But even in the near term, we see very clear activities in corporates in Germany, in Europe, which is worth of 9 hours, where Gen AI has a right to play. However, to unlock this 9 hours, it's not easy. There's a lot of technical challenges. There's a lot of investment needed. There's a lot of human capacity needed to make this change happen. So this might be more like a midterm game. But if you kind of deduct all those reality checks on what we can do, it remains still a 4-hour potential. So half a day, today, our workforce is working on tasks Gen AI could do for us. This is why we think the 4-hour narrative makes sense. But let me also add the ugliest element into it. Because we just concluded a survey in Germany and Europe looking at what are our workforce across industries are spending their time with. And the share of text-heavy administrative tasks, planning tasks, still remains a big portion of what our entire workforce, it's not only white-collar, but also blue-collar workers, are working on. If you now add what we like the most or prefer the least, you will find out that those tasks, text-heavy, planning, administrative tasks, belong to the least preferred task of our workforce, compared to focus work, compared to more creative work. And this is the perfect storm. Gen AI is the most effective on tasks we like the least. So this is why we call it the 4 ugliest hours potential. This is true, something we kind of see corporates are now after to kind of unlock in the next month, 12 to 24 months. This is something we as an industry nation should look after to see how can we get both productivity, but also there's an joy at work and workplace attractiveness element in the whole narrative. If you now kind of do this exercise of the ugliest 4 hours and put it not on corporate, but on national level, you will find out different industry nations are differently relevant in this trend. So on the x-axis, if you think of where can Gen AI unlock potential, the industry mix, the white-collar, blue-collar share plays a role, and you see from the bookends from China to US, the industry is differently affected by what Gen AI can do. And on the y-axis, also the question is, how much of a problem do we have when it comes to skilled workforce, problems to the war for talent? And also here, there's a significant difference. So the call for action for us here in Europe, and you see this here very clearly on the matrix, is a lot of the European countries, including Germany, is in the segment of the highest benefit or high benefit area. So the call for action for us is really to fight and find plans and activities to get those 4 ugliest hours unlocked. If you do the math here, we're talking about a virtual workforce you could create, which is in the size of 2.3 million virtual workers who would work half a day for us. We are talking, if you think of a European level, even bigger numbers, 40 million, and a GDP potential of 300 billion. However, big numbers are easy to put out. There is no clear path, nor in most of our corporate clients, nor in governments yet, to achieve those 4 hours, to unlock those. The plan is very vague. It's maybe too much of a new trend. But this is actually a task for corporates and governments now to figure out how to get to that. And if we even make it to the point of achieving it, yet also unclear, what do we do with this 4 hours? Is it pure productivity? So we just do more of what we have and we become more competitive in the world? Are we spending the 4 hours on becoming more innovative and we kind of create a competitive advantage? Or is it all becoming social benefit and will be just a great work-life balance in Europe to have? So a lot of question marks, very exciting to see where this is going, but I'm confident that we need to be after those 4 hours, the 4 ugliest hours. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. That was really impressive to get more productive or gaining time for our families. We don't know what you would do with your gained 4 hours, but I think we all are interested in getting the ugliness out of our work days. So if we think about IA, everybody's now, we need to do it, okay? But what would you say if there's one thing to start with? If you don't know anything, what would that be?
So I would be looking in every process I have. The more tech-savvy and the more experienced the people are doing the process, this is where I would start. We have, unfortunately or fortunately, we have a lot of bureaucracy everywhere, in corporates, in our governments.
Especially in Germany?
In Germany, all over the place. So there's an amazing playing field we should be after. At this stage, I would just say, let's get started. We talked a lot, we thought a lot. It's there, it's not a trend for the future, it's a trend of the present. So let's get started.
Okay, thank you very much.